Welcome students. Today we are in the last session of this current electricity lesson, and this is our session number 6. This is a long session. Okay, so we are going to see lot of effects today. First of all, heating effect of electric current, then Joule's law and the applications of Joule's law, thermoelectric effect, then Seebeck effect, Peltier effect, and finally Thomson effect. Let's move to the subject today. Next one. Heating effect of the electric current. In heating effect of electric current, let us first define what do you mean by that. When current flows through a resistor, some of the electrical energy delivered to the resistor is converted into heat energy and it is dissipated. This heating effect of current is known as Joule heating effect. See, we can feel the heat even while we are speaking with the person through the mobile phones. The mobile phones also get the heating effect due to the flow of electrical energy in between the resistors and conductors. So when a current flows through these resistors inside the mobile phone, some of that energy, that electrical energy, is converted into heat energy, and this is called Joule heating effect. Just as current produces thermal energy may also be suitably used to produce an electromotive force. This is called thermoelectric effect. All the above two are important 2-mark questions. Now, using this, let's move what the Joule's law states. And it states that if a current I flows through a conductor kept across a potential difference V for a time t, the work done or the electric potential energy spent is W is equal to VIT. Now, in the absence of any other external effect, this energy is spent in heating the conductor. So, the amount of heat H produced is H is equal to VI into T. As you know, V is equal to the potential difference, and for resistance R, H is equal to I square R into T, which we get V is equal to IR. Using all this, now the Joule's law states that heat developed in an electrical circuit due to the flow of current varies directly as the square of the current, the resistance of the circuit, and the time of flow. This is the Joule's law. So, applications of Joule's heating effect. First of all, let us move to the electric heaters. See, electric iron, electric heater, electric toaster, are some of the home appliances that utilize the heating effect of the current. In these appliances, the heating element are made up of nichrome, an alloy of nickel and chromium. See, nichrome has a high specific resistance and can be heated to very high temperature without oxidation. So that's why nichrome is used as an element for most of the electric heaters. Let's see the electric fuses. Fuses are connected in series in a circuit to protect the electric devices from the heat developed by the passage of excessive current. It is a short length of wire made up of a low melting point material. It melts and breaks the circuit if current exceeds a certain value. And mostly lead and copper wire melts and burn out when the current increases above 5 amps to 35 amps respectively. The only disadvantage with the above fuses is that once fuse wire is burnt due to excessive current, they need to be replaced. Nowadays in houses, circuit breakers, that means trippers, are also used instead of these fuses. Okay, which I told you. Nowadays in houses, circuit breakers, that means trippers, are used instead of fuses. Whenever there is an excessive current produced due to faulty wire connection, the circuit breaker switch opens. After repairing the faulty connection, we can close the circuit breaker switch. Next one, electric furnace. I think mostly some of you have heard about this electric furnace, which we have a thermal energy power station even in Thoothukudi district. Somehow very soon we are going to have this kind of electric furnace in Kulaserapattanam. So the furnaces are used to manufacture a large number of technological important materials such as steel, silicon, carbide, quartz, gallium arsenide, etc. To produce temperature up to 1500 degrees C, molybdenum nichrome wire wound on a silica tube is used. Carbon arc furnaces produce temperature up to 3000 degree Celsius. See, in coal lignite corporations, they use this electric furnaces. Next one, electrical lamp. See, electrical lamps consist of a tungsten filament. Melting point of tungsten is 3380 degree Celsius, which is very high in that kind of materials. As you know, it's very thin material, a tungsten is, and the tungsten filament is kept inside a glass bulb and heated to incandescence by current. And incandescent electric lamp, only about 5% of electrical energy is converted into light and the rest is wasted as heat. That's why nowadays we use the LED bulbs, not the former bulbs we used. We now replace all the bulbs with LED. Electrical discharge lamps, electric welding and electric arc also utilize the heating effect of current like this. Okay, the sparks and electrical weldings are used nowadays for the heating effect of current. Then thermoelectric effect. What do you mean by this thermoelectric effect? Conversion of temperature differences into electrical voltage and converting the electrical voltage into temperature is known as thermoelectric effect. Thermoelectric device generates voltage when there is a temperature difference on each side. If a voltage is applied, it generates a temperature difference. Let's see what do you mean by the Seebeck effect. Seebeck discovered that in a closed circuit consisting of two dissimilar metals, see, two dissimilar metals, one is copper and another one is iron. When the junctions are maintained at different temperatures, these two junctions are maintained at different temperatures and EMF is developed. That means the potential difference is developed between the two ends. Now the current that flows due to the EMF developed is called thermoelectric current, which means two different circuits consisting of dissimilar metals have been immersed into, one side of the material is immersed into ice cubes and another one is immersed into water, which is connected with the furnace. That means this is a hot water. So both the ends are different in electrical or difference in nature. One is very cold and another one is very hot. So due to this, the current that flows due to the EMF developed is called the thermoelectric current. You can see hot junction 1 and cold junction 2, metal A and metal B. We measure the current through the voltmeter. The two dissimilar metals connected to form two junction is known as thermocouple. See, if the hot and cold junctions are interchanged, the direction of the current also reverse. Here you can see in copper the direction of current is from left side to right side, and the direction of the current here in iron is from right side to left side. But if we change these two junctions, that means hot here and cold in the right hand side, then the direction of current also reverses. Hence the effect is also reversible. So the magnitude of the EMF developed in the thermocouple, it depends upon the nature of the metals forming the couple, and the second point, temperature difference between the junctions. Here the temperature difference is very important. Next one is application of Seebeck effect. Very usual 2-mark questions. See, Seebeck effect is used in thermoelectric generators. That means the Seebeck generators. These thermoelectric generators are used in power plants to convert waste heat into electricity. Probably it's used in our thermal power plant in Thoothukudi. Second point, this effect is utilized in automobiles. The Seebeck effect is utilized in automobiles as automotive thermoelectric generators for increasing the fuel efficiency. Third point, Seebeck effect is used in thermocouples, the thermopiles, to measure the temperature difference between the two objects. Next one, Peltier effect. Actually, in 1834, Peltier discovered that when an electric current is passed through a circuit of a thermocouple, heat is evolved at one junction and absorbed at another junction. This is known as the Peltier effect. In the circuit, you can see two type of metals, Cu and Fe is connected or are cooled. The side A is cooled and the side B is heated. In between we have a one battery terminal. In the Cu Fe thermocouple junction, A and B are maintained at the same temperature. The current from the battery flows through the thermocouple. In the junction A, the current flows from Cu to Fe, heat is absorbed and the junction A becomes cold. At the junction B, the current flows from Fe to Cu, the heat is liberated and it becomes hot. You understand? If it interchange, then the nature also get interchanged. At junction A, the current flows from Cu to Fe, heat is absorbed at the junction A. If it is from Cu to Fe, then heat is absorbed at A, and the next terminal becomes cold. At the junction B, the current flows from Fe to Cu, heat is liberated and it becomes hot. Okay. When the direction of current is reversed, if the direction of current is reversed like this second picture, junction A gets heated and the junction B gets cooled as shown in the figure. Hence, Peltier effect is reversible. Because at the junction A, the current flows from Cu to Fe, heat is absorbed at the junction A, which becomes cold. At the junction B, the current flows from Cu to Fe, heat is liberated and it becomes hot. Now the last one, Thomson effect. Thomson showed that if 2 points in a conductor are at different temperatures, the density of electron at these points will differ, and as a result the potential difference is created between these points. Thomson effect is also reversible effect. See, here in this positive Thomson effect, the heat is absorbed between A and C and heat is evolved between C and B. Here we have a copper bar from A to B. This is the potential level and this is the current. If current passes through the copper bar AB, if you pass the current through the copper bar AB, which is heated the middle point C, okay, it is heated to the middle point C, and the point C will be at higher potential. This indicates that heat is absorbed along AC and evolved along CB of the conductor. Thus, heat is transferred due to current flow in the direction of the current, and it is called Positive Thomson effect. Similar effect is observed in metals like silver, zinc and cadmium. In the negative Thomson effect, even we give current, heat is evolved between A and C and heat is absorbed between C and B. When the copper bar is replaced an iron bar, heat is evolved along CA and absorbed along BC because we replace the copper bar with an iron bar. Thus, heat is transferred due to the current flow in the direction opposite to the direction of the current, which is called negative Thomson effect. Similar effect is observed in metals like platinum, nickel, cobalt and mercury. Thank you students. I hope you learned this lesson well. Using the notes and the study materials, try to consume maximum marks in the examinations.